Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to recap the challenge, Season 42, Episode 5, titled Down and Dirty. Last week on the challenge, after the Orange team swam their way to another daily win, married flirt Annalie defeated Nerys in elimination. Before I dive in, links in the description to my Cutthroat playlist to catch up on my previous recaps. If you like the content, consider liking, subscribing, and commenting what you thought of the episode. But let's dive into it. Blue team celebrates their first time not losing a player in elimination this season, and teams strategize. TJ just told them they have to pick captains for the rest of the season. Corey wants to be captain for Gray, and he's got support. Nelson and Josh campaign for the role for Blue. CT pushes Tori as captain for Orange, and they all agree. The next day, at their daily, they announce Tori as captain for Orange, Corey for Gray, and rookie Josh for Blue. They'll be playing Jungle Brawl. Teams will be in a mud pit, fighting for balls. When they get a ball, they can score it in one of the three team-colored goals. They are trying to target the other team's goals, and in the end, the team with the least amount of balls in their goal will win the daily. They get started with Gray and Orange deciding to just go against each other to start. Keanu runs through everyone like a truck, and Orange gets 3 balls quickly from Gray, then retaliating with 3 right back. This is really fun to watch, but also just chaos. No one's going for Blue, it's a cluster. Gray eventually does try to come for Blue. Leo and Letty come to rough blows. Now Blue has the most balls. Keanu pushes Gray to get back after Orange, the team that wins all the challenges. Why wouldn't Gray and Blue team up the whole time? Just when I was like, how did no one get hurt doing this? Deb pounces on Sydney's back and hurts Sydney's damn leg. So Sydney's wounded. Keanu's shirt is hanging on by a thread. The players are in a pile, and the last ball is thrown. Sydney is upset. She thinks her ACL is torn and is worried her life is going to get ruined by this. She's taken away in the ambulance. In the results, TJ tells them there is no more last place in the game, just first place and 2 losers. Orange team won the daily with the least balls and will be safe this week. The losing team captains will always be safe from elimination. The captains will be the sole decider on who's going into elimination, and this will be a guys elimination day. TJ tells them the captains are permanent, but if the teams ever can unanimously agree to overthrow the captain, they can do that. It's called a mutiny and can only be done twice per team this season. Back at the house, Gray and Blue meet. Keanu is causing a stink about them all not working together against Orange. Nelson is also annoyed with his bestie Corey for not helping him, especially now that Nelson now has to go into every guy's elimination for Blue, probably for the rest of the game. Gray Captain Corey tells Nelson he'll send whoever Nelson wants to go into elimination as his opponent. Sydney returns to the house. She's injured, but ACL, I guess, not torn. She says, think of all the un-PC words, I want to say all of them. Now, why would you incriminate yourself to the highest degree? The next day, Corey tells his team that he's going to let Nelson decide his opponent, which doesn't make Keanu feel safe in his leadership. Leo and Annalie once again have time alone. Instantly, not a good thing. They're flirting. She's denying it in confessional. Will puts them on blast, spying on them, throwing clothes on them, saying married woman in confessional. Speaking of cheating, Corey and Izzy continue to flirt. Corey tells us he's just going to go with it and see if he has a home to come back to. All this cheating, and that's before the players bring the club to the villa. Leo reminds us he thinks Annalie is so fine. Letty tells Bananas she's a virgin. Cara Maria calls Letty an inspiration. More flirting and hooking up. Josh and Adrian making out outside. Will and Deb, Bananas and Letty making that bunk bedroom stink. The next day, Tori asks CT and Michelle to be her counsel on a season with a mutiny where you have a guaranteed spot in the final if you're not overthrown unanimously. You're gonna need a council. They see their 3 plus Bananas as the core 4 on Orange. Pencil the council in for the final. Nelson considers his opponent. He wants to go against Leo if there's a puzzle element in the elimination. Bananas is starting to feel Letty is being clingy. Sydney goes off talking about Deb, shouting that Deb can F herself because no one will accept Will, talking about her hair and her body. Deb confronts Sydney, saying she's been talking about her body to everyone in the house behind her back, and that's rude. Sydney says, then I'm just rude, and walks away. She really does talk shit behind everyone's back. She goes right back to talking behind Deb's back about her boobs after the confrontation. Deb tells us, what do my tiny titties have to do with your knee? I don't understand. Corey Corey FaceTimes with Cheyenne, baby mama number 1, asking her for advice because I guess baby mama 2, Taylor, is the one he's loyal to and lives with. She tells Corey if he's not really feeling single, he shouldn't be doing all this. Izzy feels guilty for involving herself into this situation, but Adrian tells her she's doing nothing wrong. As a viewer, I'm confused. Is this fine or not fine? Nelson tells us it's not fine, and before the elimination, he tells Izzy she needs to stay away from Corey. Izzy feels like Nelson is blaming her and is now over the situation. So players head to elimination, where firstly, TJ tells Sydney that she's not medically cleared to continue in the competition, so Gray is down another girl, and we lose Sydney, who I was excited to see on the cast, but this go around, her cockiness has officially become nastiness to me. She was so mean this season on multiple fronts, and it has passed the point of novelty. The way she talks about people, but absolutely will not say it to their face when she's confronted, shows she's not really a toughie and is very cowardly for no apparent reason. So I just don't respect it, though. I still think she's a future challenge winner and arguably the best competitor of any women's lineup. TJ calls Nelson down in the sand, and Corey sends Keanu down to face Nelson. Seeing the challenge will be not so fast, players will climb around their big dog toy to tie up a knot. After 15 minutes, they'll switch sides. The first player to untie their opponent's knot will win the elimination. They get started tying their knots. Nelson is getting all the coaching from the sidelines. They coach Nelson to tie a big knot at the top of his structure. Keanu is doing more the climb around technique. Annalie is the only person cheering for her friend Keanu. The rest of Blue tell her to stop. Now they switch, and Keanu has to deal with Nelson's top knot. Nelson tells us he's doing this to pay back his mom, who supported him through his injury. The editing is not showing us their full structures, so at any time you can't see how far they are from each other, probably because Nelson royally kicks Keanu's ass by a lot. In the end, Nelson gets all his rope and wins the elimination. A big win and celebration from Nelson here. He picks up his leg in triumph. So we lose Keanu here, who did about what I thought he would do on the season. He was pretty much just like he was on Big Brother, chaotic, the house target, kind of tough to get out. He got very involved in the strategy, often getting himself into trouble. Even in this episode, he was saying he'd volunteer every time as the warrior for Gray. Keanu, don't do all that. But as I expected, he was a tough competitor, did well in challenges. He was better at the strategy here than he was on Big Brother. He did seem to have a handle on what was going on most of the time, and he showed he's a scary person to go against in elimination. I can't wait to see him again on any show. Give me Keanu on Big Brother, Challenge, Traitors, Dancing with the Stars, Worst Cooks in America. I could go on, but this was a bad night for Team Gray. They're down to 5 players just like Blue. Nelson now wants Gray and Blue to work together against Orange, and they should. Orange is dog walking them, and they allowed it to happen. Next week, it'll be a girls' day, and I think Deb and Izzy, for Orange, you are in danger, girls. On Blue, I think the rookies will continue to stick together and vote Kara into as many eliminations as it takes, but Kara's not going anywhere. And on Gray, with Adrian and Cassidy, the last 2 women remaining, Corey has a better relationship with Cassidy. If they lose, I'm expecting Adrian to be in trouble. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next Wednesday with more challenge. Until next time, you know where to find me. Bye.